My Hero Academia is the greatest modern series right now.
Yeah, I would say that, because One Piece I would consider old school.
Yeah, and when you're that popular, you get a million spin-offs, like School Briefs.
And Team Up, where we get one chapter all about Ojiro and Hagakure.
Oh god damn it, you piece of shit, putting in your rare pair agenda.
Woo!
But the one we're going to talk about today is Vigilantes, the series that follows Koichi Haimawari, the local vigilante hero of Naruhata.
And vigilantes basically mean you didn't go to school for this.
I mean, but you are a hero, technically. I'm Minty.
And I'm Annie.
And this is FunUntitled, where we said every podcast went F you.
Just a little disclaimer. So, we read the entire series. Annie wanted to drop the series many times and was this close to dropping it 10 chapters to the end.
There's no point dropping a series when you're 10 chapters from the end. You might as well just read it to the end to at least say that you finished it. Because it's always going to sound dumb to say, I read like 150 out of 160 chapters. Like the fuck?
Boy, I missed that out of my life though. What is Vigilantes about?
So again, it's about Koichi Haimawari. He is a vigilante, which means that he does good deeds without a hero's license.
More like good deeds, dirt cheap.
I guess so, but he doesn't get paid at all.
It's a band name.
Is it?
It's Funny Valentine's stand name in Steel Ball Run.
I don't want to talk to you no more. Because technically, you're not allowed to use your powers when you're not a hero. And at the beginning of the series, Koichi's powers is basically, I think it's called like slip and slide or something, where he can like slide along the ground really well.
It's like we didn't watch the movie The Incredibles.
What?
Because we should be able to use our powers whenever we want.
God damn it. That movie's so fucking old, and the second one wasn't as good. It was okay.
So he's in Naruhata. He's just basically helping old ladies cross the street, making sure kids don't get bullied. Really petty crime fighting.
And then he meets another vigilante named Knuckle Duster, who's like a very cool character.
Too bad he's gone after the series.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they did that. But he is also a vigilante who got his quirk taken away from him, and he's basically trying to figure out who is supplying this drug. Which, if you read My Hero Academia, it's also kind of about drugs too, right?
Drugs? No thank you. Drugs? Who invited him?
God damn it. Damn you, Vines. You've ruined our society even though you're long gone now.
So Knucklebuster's like, hey kid, I don't have quirks, but I'm better than you at being a vigilante, so I'm gonna teach you how to be a vigilante. And we're gonna live in this tiny hut on top of this building.
And you see that girl who wants to be a pop idol and she just dances on the street and uses her powers? She's not really a vigilante because she doesn't use her powers for good, but she kind of is?
She's kind of just a flash mob of one person.
I guess so. Her name is Popstep, and she's gonna have a crush on you and want to join because you're a boy and she's a girl.
Can I make it any more obvious? And we're gonna ask, what's the age gap? Because you go to college, and I think she graduates middle school, but we're just gonna not worry about it.
I don't think they're that far apart.
I know he's definitely in college, and she's like in the middle of high school.
Yeah, well, that's like 4 years math.
Okay, how about this? She's way too young to be showing her ass as much as she does in the series.
Well, sure, but that's with all girls, right? I do not like the Koichi and Popstep couple.
We saw their kids, though. Are you gonna tell me? Yes, we saw, because Koichi was having this, when he was fighting Pop later on in like this is spoilers, by the way.
If you didn't know.
In the anticlimactic battle, he was like, we could have been together, Pop. We could have had a happy family. And look at our children.
That's just a weird ship.
I just don't like the protagonist where you're supposed to self-insert and be in their place. And I really don't like it when they give them like kind of a harem.
I mean, Koichi, yeah, he doesn't have the strongest personality. And yeah, he has Popstep vibing for him. I think her name is Makoto. She is like the detective's sister who's kind of vibing for him.
But you have Captain Celebrity.
Well, I mean, I guess so. I ship Koichi with Ida, the brother, not the one that's in My Hero Academia.
If you want to talk about age gaps. And then Koichi go visit him like, hey, I heard something happened to your legs. Got them Jimmy legs.
God, if only we could see that, but I don't think that happens in here.
No.
Yeah, Vigilante is a prequel to My Academia.
Yeah, because the main bad guy is basically this little blob dude named Six. I think his name is Six because that is Satan's number. And he is like the base form for the Nomus that you see in My Hero Academia.
We say villain, but he was only introduced in like the last arc. I mean, I think All For One was really like the main villain for everything, but he just never really played a role, or like not the he was never front and center.
Okay, I forget this part. So in the beginning half, right, the whole bad guy was the bee going to girls' eyes.
Yeah.
Because that one girl who we won't spoil her lineage yet, she was like, running things behind the scenes, giving people drugs that make people's quirks stronger but makes them lose control. That's the whole bad guy in the first half. Was that All For One?
Yeah, I think everything is under All For One's command.
Real fast, was the bee itself the quirk user, or was that something All For One made?
I don't know that much. I don't remember.
Okay. No, because yeah, I guess All For One. If you count in JoJo Leon when they introduced some ex-boyfriend at the very end and everyone said that's the main bad guy of JoJo, then I think we can count number 6 as the main bad guy of Vigilantes.
Kind of. I mean, I get what you're saying, but not apples and oranges.
That's basically how it ties into My Hero Academia. You don't need to know My Hero Academia to enjoy Vigilantes. It will just help as a supplement.
Yeah, especially since Aizawa has his own arc in this one, but you really don't need to know much. Reading that arc does help explain some things in My Academia though, but it's not really necessary. Very shallow.
Alright, what are the pros of Vigilantes?
Okay, so we're gonna play Good Cop, Bad Cop, which is kind of like every review we kind of do. But I play Good Cop. I really like Vigilantes. I think it's just a fun series to read. I think Koichi, again, not the strongest personality, but he does have like, he's a good moral compass kind of boy, and he just kind of takes everything pretty lax. He never really thinks big of himself, but he knows there's a job to do and he's gonna do it. So that's why kind of people rally around him. And I like that it's more natural. Because some series really like to like, oh my god, Asta can make friends with anyone. It's like, but Asta doesn't make friends with anyone. They're just kind of there. And they just like self-proclaimed rivals. And it's like, why? But I think Koichi does more of a natural building of a gang. But he doesn't do anything with them. And he never thinks highly of himself. He has a lot of humility. The thing that I really like about Vigilantes is that like Koichi has the slip and slide powers. And then as the series progresses, his powers also progresses and they change and he gets new abilities and they're all based on the same concept of like repulsion.
If you think Slip and Slide was a cool name, wait till you hear Shooty Go Blam Blam.
I mean, because he's not a hero. He doesn't have to think of a cool name because one of the things in My Academia is like, hey, you need to think of a final move. It needs to have a good name. It has to like inspire people, make them feel safe. Koichi's like, Shooty Go Blam Blam because he's a vigilante and he doesn't give a fuck.
My problem with Vigilantes is that yes, he does grow a lot, but in the end, he's not a main character. Like, he is the main character of Vigilantes. He cannot be the main character of this story. Like, in every arc, someone has to come and bail him out.
Which, to be fair, though, is kind of his thing, because his whole thing as a vigilante is that because he's not the hero, he's basically just kind of there more to, like, help until a hero comes.
Don't get me wrong, I understand that's the premise of the series. I'm saying that from step one, it was a little bit flawed. Like, let's just take this is serious spoilers. Like, go read the series if you really want to read Vigilantes. The final arc was him basically playing a war of attrition. And if you like that, good for you, kudos. If you are someone who came from My Hero Academia and you're used to the formula of the main character overcoming the bad guy, then the series is either going to be a hit or miss, because it's either, oh, I was looking for something a little bit more like My Hero Academia, or, oh, this is a refreshing change from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
And it seems like with us, for you, it was a refreshing change, and for me, it was like, oh boy, I can't wait for Koichi to get saved.
It's sometimes hard to read a series that's very deep and to read a lot about it and to like remember everything that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Like, for My Academia, it is very well written. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta remember everything to get the nuances of what the villain is doing and how they set it up, of how like society has really screwed them over and why they have some legitimacy to why they're doing what they're doing. Vigilante, it's like every arc is just different. You don't have to know the last arc to know the new arc.
I just want to bring up this thing real fast, is that it's always that JoJo line of whenever I have my main character fight someone, I always try to make it solo, because it's just, that's how I think a hero should be. And then with this one, with Vigilantes, I wish they did more of a stance, but I guess this is with Knucklebuster, that Vigilantes can stand on their own, but Koichi's supposed to be the Vigilante that just mediates the problem till the heroes come. I mean, like, Knucklebuster is good, but I understand why he had to leave halfway.
Okay, it's Knuckle Duster.
Knuckle Duster.
You keep saying Knuckle Buster, and I'm thinking either she's slipping out because she has a speech impediment, or she actually thinks his name is Knuckle Buster. It's Knuckle Duster.
Do you think Knuckle Duster's a better name?
It's the right name.
Or do you think it's better?
No, I don't think Knuckle Buster is better.
Because you made me read that shitty book called Witch Buster a long time ago.
Oh yeah, it had potential. It's just,
I do agree Koichi did shine in the first half of the arc when he was more having fun with his friends and like doing that music performance.
I mean, the beginning half is so lighthearted, then the last arc is like a little dark, a little about like loneliness and like destruction and feeling helpless.
You know, it all started when he went to college.
And kind of. And he kind of went to college.
I thought he graduated. Did he not?
I don't think so.
I do remember very vividly there's a scene of him job searching.
Yeah, but I don't think he went to college. I think he unfortunately failed the hero exam and then just kind of been wandering around.
Yeah, I guess it was a major tonal shift when like he had to like kind of grow up and everyone was moving on with their lives. That's how his girlfriend Pop Step got into trouble because she's like, oh, my friends are moving on and maybe I should start a singing career. Hey, you guy who looks just like Koichi, will you be my manager?
Okay, he looked nothing like Koichi, but they kept saying he looked like Koichi.
Inuyasha, if someone asked you, does Kagome look like Kikyo? What would you say?
To be fair though, they do look more similar in the manga.
I can see the similarities between Koichi and Rock.
No, there's like no similarities whatsoever.
They had black hair.
And they were doofy looking.
Yeah, they're doofy looking. And then Rock was like, wow, I think I'm falling in love with you, Pop Step. I sure hope I don't develop feelings as I put this bean into your eye. That's right, Rock was number 6.
You get it? Because his name is Rokuro.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I thought it was a Black Lagoon reference.
That's a show we should talk about later.
Black Lagoon, real fast. Rock would have been a much better Koichi character.
Rock is a kind of a Koichi character. Rock gets really dark really fast.
Yeah, I wish Koichi got hard. I wish when Knuckle Duster left, Koichi picked up the Knuckle mantle and got hard.
I will say, the one thing I don't like about Vigilantes is that at the very beginning of the final arc, he's basically saying like, oh, I didn't realize this was gonna be my last hurrah. Things change after this whole event and it's a big one. And it's like, he dies, right? Because like, Pop Dad was in this shitty situation where she was in the hospital getting seizures. Knuckle Duster got the shit taken out of him and kept getting exploded. Koichi was in this like war of attrition with a giant monster and you think, so they all die, right? And I think that would have been a very heroic ending. I think it could have been Koichi's like his final moment. Like he always thought of himself as the vigilante who's on the sideline, but now he becomes the hero and he dies the heroic death. But no, that's not what happens. Pop Step moves on with her life. Knuckle Duster becomes the hero of Naruhata, and then Koichi goes to America and becomes the Skycrawler.
America, where we have a bunch of vigilantes named Batman.
And I'm just like, I like Koichi, but I wanted him to have the heroic death. I wanted the series to take like a really hard turn.
To be fair, we say TBF too much. That's the new title of our podcast, TBF.
To be fair, untitled.
It's weird because it started off with a happy tone in the beginning of the series, then it got darker and deeper with like, you know, themes of growing up and being lonely, like you said. And then at the end, it felt like it went back to the happy tone.
Right, like Whiplash. But if I fucking see or hear that Koichi is gonna be in the main My Hero Academia series, and not no cameo like Shirokuma, no like, or Shirokumo.
Okay, when you said Shirokuma, I was like, the guy from the Shigaraishi-san real brand?
The white bear of Sumogurashi? No, the white cloud. I want to see Koichi in the fucking main series, because I'm not caught up in My Academia, but you be sure as hell I would be reading up the shit with that shit if Koichi's in it, because I fucking love Koichi.
I want you to know, Vigilantes ended with the story will continue in My Hero Academia, and the last few pages was them talking about the Nomus. But Minty went, they must be talking about Koichi. Koichi's storyline as the Skycrawler will finish in My Hero Academia. No, fuck the Nomus.
He's gonna come back to Japan once he's cleared his name, as if for some reason they blame him for the tragedy of Naruhata. And I'm like, but he was like trying to help, but technically he did it illegally because he's a vigilante and he doesn't have a hero's license.
Like, no, we're not finishing the storyline of Eraserhead and Midnight. No, we're doing Koichi.
It's gotta be Koichi. He's the main character.
So he's your favorite character of the series?
Yes, and not many series I have like the main character is like my actual favorite character by a landslide. Koichi is my favorite character by a landslide. slide. Well, okay, Knuckle Duster is a real close second. Knuckle Duster.
Did they ever explain how he lost his powers? Like, did number 6 kind of just take it from him?
I believe All for One took his powers and gave it to number 6. But I don't know, it was in that weird flashback arc that I didn't really care for.
The Knuckle Duster storyline could have been a little bit tighter.
A lot shorter.
We could have focused less on the love romance between Koichi and Popstep. What pisses me off is that Popstep had a whole dance entourage, and like, we kept seeing them. I didn't know anything about anything.
They played a bigger role in the beginning of the series, that's why. And then towards the end, it was just basically them moving on with their lives, and you didn't really care about that.
One of them became a maid cafe worker. I think I care a little about that. I mean, overall, the arcs,
That is fun.
this is fun, yeah. I really like Captain Celebrity.
Really?
I thought he was funny.
Okay.
I thought, what was his powers?
He's basically like Superman.
No, it was something a little bit smarter than
Pretty
Superman.
sure his power is just flight.
I thought like nothing could touch him when he's like in when he turns his powers on. So that's why he could fly, because technically gravity wasn't touching him.
Or maybe it was powered by the yellow sun.
Yeah, he shut up. Like Captain Celebrity, he was the number 1 hero in America, but then he kind of stepped down and retired so he can raise his child. So in My Hero Academia, you get to see the number 1 hero that steps up.
I don't know. It was just weird because he was like number 1 and then he was in all these scandals and he had to like save his public face. So that's why he went to Japan, and his wife who he was cheating on had his baby, and then he was like, I'm gonna change my life around, and she accepted him, and I was like, what the fuck? I guess that is any American drama, is it not?
All the romances in My Hero Academia is pure shit.
Vigilantes.
And Vigilantes is pure shit. Yeah, I don't want to show shade that BNHA.
They got some good shit.
They got some good ships, but the all shit in Vigilantes, except for one couple that's totally not canon that we just like.
No, it's 100% canon. What are you talking about? Okay, so there was a villain. His name is Soga Kugisaki. He was like one of the main like minor villains in the very beginning of the series, and he took the drug and it made him super powerful, but he got out of control.
We call him Porcupine Man.
Yeah, that was basically his power. He's never used it after that.
He never. It pisses me off.
I wonder if he lost his powers.
I wonder if because he has a redemption arc, he can't use his powers because he's a law-abiding citizen now.
Oh, that could be it. Okay, yes. So he was a villain who used the drug, and throughout the whole series, it's basically about him being like kind of a vigilante. Like he's now trying to figure out in his own way of like what's happening with this drug trade, but more like on the local Naruhata level, not more of the global level that like Knuckle Duster was doing. And he's like helping Koichi. He's like kind of helping the police, but he doesn't trust the police because he's like a bad boy, but he's like got like a good heart after the whole incident.
Yeah, the little lizard friend.
And a fire boy. Fire golem, whatever.
I don't know. I'm such a nerd. He just looks like a fire genocide to me.
God, Janasi.
Genasi, yeah.
But the girl who was first taken over by the bee and who was giving drugs and was mind controlled, they saved her, and you just kind of see them together a bit, and they're so goddamn cute.
You know what's kind of weird about Porcupine Man? Koichi was Knuckle Duster's official, like, apprentice or student, right?
Right.
But I feel like Porcupine Man took that title better.
Yes, yeah, Soga definitely became like the unofficial disciple, because I think like, because in a sense, Knuckle Duster and Soga basically had the same goal at the end, but Koichi, he just wanted to be a vigilante that helped people. He didn't really care about the drug thing anymore, because Koichi is much more like short-sighted. He just wanted to help Naruhata. If the drug wasn't in Naruhata anymore, then he didn't really give a shit.
I think Soga is a more of the apprentice of Knuckle Duster. Knuckle Duster was like straight up, let's murder people. But Koichi to the very end was like, I do not want to hurt anyone. Hey, you guy who pretty much almost killed my love interest and put this entire city under terrorist lockdown. You Gucci? Can we be friends? What if I thought of a dream scenario where we grew up on a park together and then we fought with each other and played and we're just kids at heart?
Well, that was his fantasy, right?
6 or?
6.
Oh, 6. I thought they were both having that.
It's kind of like the Naruto and Gaara thing, but it's more about 6, because Koichi, I don't think Koichi feels that kind of connection with 6. I think 6 thought there was a connection with Koichi, but when Koichi started having like friends and stuff, then he felt betrayed by Koichi.
Oh, I think I misinterpreted that, because probably was that Koichi did have like a playground moment, but that was without 6. You know, like, oh, I kept playing the playground, but everyone else went home. Yeah, okay. I think I combined the two.
But Koichi's a wannabe hero, so of course he wasn't gonna hurt anyone.
No, I'm just saying like why I think Soga related to Knuckle Duster better.
God damn, who cares?
We're talking about Soga, that's what I'm talking about. And then, so, but yeah, if you like Vigilantes, that I shit on it, but I have really terrible opinions about everything. So kudos to you if you like Vigilantes. It's like, what, 200 chapters?
I think so. I think it's a a good series. I don't think.
I will admit that I'm an idiot who didn't enjoy the anime Monster because it wasn't like punchy. So, because Vigilante is more about morals, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember Stain being in this series though.
He plays a small role, and of like him becoming Stain.
Who becomes Stain?
Whoever the guy is.
Oh,
It's
it's
like
his
Stain
origin
becoming
story.
Stain. Yes.
Oh, okay. God, I gotta reread Vigilantes, I guess.
That one's in the beginning too.
Did Koichi meet? No, he's a Vigilante Stain, right?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Anyways, I think Vigilante's a great series.
Alright, and give it a shot and tell me why Annie's wrong.